Hey Dan, thanks for asking about how what I've learned from coaching football guys can help with a real estate agent. Really, any agent, any business. Uh, it's been a passion of mine to kind of cross context, learn about how leadership skills, football coaching skills, and business kind of correlate. I met a guy I've known him for years through my wife's friend, and last year we had dinner together finally for the first time, and we started talking. And he reminded me, and I forgot all about this because we had talked about this on Facebook once, that his dad was one of the big football coaches in Northern California when he was growing up years and years ago. And his dad was a hell of a mentor. Was very had really good values. Was teaching good values. Was coming from a good place. He's one of the good guys, you can tell. And so his son never really was a football player, but was always there, always absorbing. And when he got out of high school and school, he started working for a retailer. And he, as a young, kind of brash young man, he started realizing how inefficient the whole thing was, and he started taking over and ended up rising within the organization and quickly realized that a lot of the skills that he had learned through his dad, a lot of the ideas, concepts of team, was transferable into business. Now, this is after I arrogantly said, you know what, you could build team in the corporate world, but it's tough because everybody is motivated by money. It's why when you get to the NFL or any big sport, it's tough to hold on to those team ideas that go on at a more organic level at the high school and youth level, which unfortunately is getting eroded with self-interest these days. So anyway, we started talking, and he told me how he had actually through his ingenious influence had gotten to talk and interview John Wooden. And funny enough, he did it through going to UCLA, and Wooden's already retired, right? This is right before he died. And he called into the UCLA office, and the way that he asked, they ended up giving him Wooden's number. So he used some persuasion skills there, and Wooden says, yeah, come on out. And he ended up spending, I think it was 3 Saturdays in a row with John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood, and got his concepts firsthand. The point being that he Mike put it down on me that hey man, you could build team in the corporate world, and really it kind of solidified for me that these concepts work both ways. There's different issues that come up, and like in the NFL, there's different issues that my youth kids would have or my high school kids would have, right? These guys have to pay their bills, and so there's different issues that you have to take into consideration. The other day, I was talking to a client of mine, not a realtor, but he was frustrated because he's been struggling from a lot of just non-business adversities like life can throw at you, and so the business suffered. He's writing checks that he has to cash out, a retirement on in order to make the payroll. These are some of the ugly things that business people don't get credit for, and so he was a little bit insulted that we've had a couple good months, and his worker wanted a raise, and so he was telling me, yeah, it's kind of, he was insulted, it kind of hurt, and So we're friends. Most of my clients, we get to talk and we're kind of friendly, and so I was giving him a little bit of a pep talk, and so I guess what I'm saying is you can see that's a client of mine, and I'm kind of consulting him, and I've done that a lot over the years, and I've used the skills that I know to build people up, to build him up. So the biggest thing I've learned is how to move large amounts of people. To get a kid who's 9 years old to get off the ball at the same time as 10 other kids is nothing short of a mystery to me to this day, 13 or 12 years later after I first did that. Now I'm at the high school level, and you have kids that, they're ADD or whatever is going on. And, but, it's possible. I mean, we're dealing with human beings, the teams, they're human beings act like human beings. And so I would say that finding out what matters to each individual kid will work wonders. So I'll say it like this, and it was a compliment that my son gave me, actually, because he was with me all those years. He's now in college playing. And he said, well, Dad, you talk to us. Didn't say them. I thought that was interesting. You talk to us like you're one of us, And I said, well, you mean like you're people, like you're human beings. I'm not dictating. And so at the moment, I'm willing to go into leadership role. And I think the problem is and you could discuss this at some point going forward, but one of the problems is we get into too much rapport when we're trying to sell somebody, and we stop leading. And so we're afraid to ever get into rapport. Rapport means I'm not leading you. I'm going to lose respect. No, it doesn't. It means I care about you. And then I could lead you from there. So I'll leave you with that. I'm going long as usual. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, and you guys rock and roll.